Hi everybody, 16-ounce setups here. In an older monitor video where I discussed the importance of having a monitor arm and a few different types, I mentioned a brand called Ergotron. Now, Ergotron mounts and monitor arms are usually pretty expensive, so they're a relatively large investment compared to the rest of your setup, and usually I'd recommend spending money elsewhere. However, the price definitely reflects the high quality and design and are certainly worth it if you can swing it. Fortunately, Ergotron has a new monitor arm that still retains its high quality, it still has a simple and elegant design, and it's lower in price. And finally, I think we have an Ergotron monitor mount that is worth buying if it's in your price range. This is called the Ergotron LX single monitor arm. The first thing I want to talk about here is the price. I think a lot of us think about price first when we're purchasing a lot of our desk setup items. Fortunately, I'm pretty sure this is Ergotron's cheapest offering to date at $110, but keep an eye out for any Amazon promotions or deals. I happen to get mine for $99. If this is out of your price range, there's still cheaper comparable options out there. I'm thinking about the Amazon Basics lift engine, which might be discontinued. I haven't seen it on Amazon's store for a while now, and I think the monoprice workstream, which I've discussed in previous videos, is still viable, and you can find this in the $50 to $60 price range. Now, moving on to compatibility, you can see I'm able to use this with an ultrawide, but that doesn't mean it will be compatible with your ultrawide. I'm at the limit here. Ergotron recommends a 34-inch maximum dimension for your ultrawide monitor with a maximum weight of 17.6 pounds, and I'm actually at 16.9 pounds with my monitor. So keep these in mind. If you happen to have a smaller ultrawide monitor like I do here, I think it looks absolutely fantastic. Obviously, if you have a monitor smaller than this, it'll certainly fit as long as you're within the weight limit. And as far as I know, this is only offered in a single monitor configuration for the time being. This is opposed to some of their higher end models where you can have 2 to 3 monitors mounted on a single pole. Now, moving on to functionality, the first thing I want to note is that this is a pole mount as opposed to a spring mount. This means that it'll be more stationary. There are no automatic lift aspects with this particular mount, but that does not mean it's not flexible in other areas. This still tilts vertically 35 degrees, forwards and backwards. It pans 180 degrees in the horizontal dimension, and it rotates 360 degrees. Additionally, the arm behind your monitor can rotate, which means you can pull your monitor closer and push it away further if you so desire. Your main limitation here, of course, will be raising and lowering your monitor if that's something that is important to you. Again, you can see my video explaining differences between pole and spring mounts if you want more information. We do have some more functional components in cable management, and of course this is a VESA configuration, so make sure your monitor supports VESA mounts before purchasing. Now we're going to move on to design, and I think this really explains where your $110 is going, and really explains why Ergotron, in my opinion, can be considered the end game of monitor mounts. The first thing to discuss here are the materials. We have metal everywhere, which is always a good sign and probably indicates where a lot of your money is going. There are some hard plastic components elsewhere. I'm thinking about cable management accessories, clips, and the base of the monitor, but in general, the mostly metal frame is awesome for a product like this. Moving on to the design itself, it's super minimal looking. The only component you can really see are the square base and the black pole. Behind this, you'll see that the arm is actually very well designed. Usually on pole mounts, you'll just see a horizontal lever type configuration going straight out to your monitor, which often leads to sag with stress over time. But with this diagonal arm here, this actually forces a lot of the stress down into the vertical pole itself. So I don't anticipate much sag in the future, and the back looks great even though you're never looking at it. I went for this black color here, which matches the rest of the accessories on my desk. They do offer this arm in white as well. We do have very minimal Ergotron logo. Typically, I'm not a fan of branding on my products, but this is so small and not in your face like some other products out there, I don't think it's that bad at all. And I did discuss earlier that you can't automatically lift and lower your monitor with this arm, but there is this little adjustment dial on the back that makes it super easy to adjust your stationary position if you really want to. Similarly, adjustments for tightening and loosening components with Allen wrenches is very easy during installation. I think you could probably set this thing up in 15 minutes if you knew what you were doing. Something that I feel like is really undersold with this mount is the cable management. It's really not heavily advertised, but there's some really clever solutions here. For instance, at the back of the base of the pole, you can see this little slanted notch, and this means it's really easy for your cables to be popped in manually, but it's almost impossible for them to come out on their own. There's another clip further up on the arm that implements this same slants component. This is not something I've seen before, so excuse me if I'm new to this, but this is just a really clever solution to issues of cables popping out. There is, of course, this tray in the back of the arm that allows your cables to be hidden, and this combined with the little clips are the perfect combination to hide all your cables. Really, simplicity is the name of the game with this design. I think your money is going to a very well thought out design with high quality materials. You also know that a name brand like Ergotron is going to offer great customer service, and they do have a 5-year limited warranty in case anything does end up breaking. So after all of that, you may be wondering if this mount is worth it. And I think if you can stomach the $110, this is the best amount you're going to be getting at this price. It has a simple design, it's functional and aesthetically pleasing, it has excellent cable management, and the name to back it up. The NX ultimately has every feature you need with no features you don't. And that's going to about do it for this video. As always, this is 16-ounce setups. This week, I was brewing this coffee from an unknown roaster from Mexico in the Nayarit region. I actually did not know they grew coffee here, but it was very delicious. Almost had a peanut buttery-like feel. Had to grind pretty fine for this one. See you guys in the next one.